Hey guys, thanks for joining the stream today. Appreciate it. Today we're going to be taking a look at the TorqueSim Cirrus SR22 G3. I spent a little bit more time with the plane, well, a lot of bit more time with the plane since I did the first look. So I've learned a little bit about it, some mistakes I was making. There are some little glitches here and there, but most of the problems I found were actually cockpit error. So we're going to get into it here. Going to do a flight in FSEconomy, and going to start cold and dark and show you some of the things that I've learned. And we'll let you know that been in touch with the folks at TorqueSim, and they are working on fixing some of the things that users are finding. So those things will be corrected, which is good. So in any event, let's get to it. Appreciate you guys joining me here today on a Sunday. And we are ready to go here. This is the SR22 from TorqueSim. It's an awesome plane. I like the tan interior. The naturally aspirated version. There's two versions. There's a turbo version, and then there's this version, which is the Continental engine. And I just like this one. This one has tan interiors too. So not that the black interior is bad, but I just tend to like this one. Let's get down on the ground level here. So we've got our compartment here. We're going to close that off. We got our luggage in there. But we've got we've got our doors open here, ready to go. Let's get on the other side here just to give you a little walk around front view there. What if we can open this? I don't know that we can open the engine compartment. No, we can't do that. But anyway, so just a little bit of a walk around here. There's the you could see how well the engine's modeled. Okay. Actually, I wonder if we can just go in there. You could just look inside there and see how the engine's modeled, which is pretty cool. What detail, right? Right down to the hard cell logo on the prop there. Here's our elevators, ailerons. You can see our control stick moving in there. So that's basically that's the plane. There's the rudder. Nice, very nice. Let's get that door closed here. And let's get inside the plane. We should be able to teleport right into. Oops. There we go. Get this door closed. And we can leave it open when we start. Hot day. Michael, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. All right, so a couple things that I've learned. First, make sure you charge the batteries. Make sure the batteries are charged. I had an issue where the MFD would go off when you went down to idle, and that was because the batteries weren't charged. And I learned that the hard way. Well, not the hard way, but I had to learn that by being told by support, which is something I should have known ahead of time. So anyway, make sure your batteries are charged, and the way to do that is you go into, there's a menu on the plane here. You go into the aircraft menu. All right, I'm going to see, hopefully you guys could see this. I'm going to push it out here so you could see that. Hopefully you guys could see that. And then right here it says charge batteries. Boom, do that, and your batteries are charged. Now, load manager. This is important for FSEconomy. You see how the fuel is at 100% topped off? Well, you want to, there's a problem with FSEconomy where you'll get this error message that says you can't refuel in midair or something like that. Now, TorqueSim is working on making it FSEconomy compatible, but in the meantime, what you want to do is come down to right about there on both tanks, okay, and then close it out, and then you could then it should work fine with FSEconomy. But just to go over this menu here, so you've got the general. I've got glass refraction off and the wear and tear features. You can have persistent systems too, which leaves the switches in the exact same way that they were when you returned your all your ground equipment. Okay. Maintenance, you can it gives you your flight time. You can refill your oil, which is probably good to do before you start. You can inspect the oil system, inspect the fuel system, inspect the tire and brakes, all these things. Okay. Livery manager, you can change your tail number if you'd like, which is pretty cool. And that's pretty much it. But the main thing here is when you're using FSEconomy, you want to make sure that you put this down to right about 3/4 full on both wings of both wing tanks. Okay, and close that out. And we should be good to go there. Let me show you what I'm doing in FSEconomy here. Let's see here. So if I go to boom, now you can see that I'm flying from Charlotte up to Roanoke, which is an airport that we actually own. VR Aviation actually owns. 139 miles are going to be going via DeWitt and Knoll, and then we'll land here, straight approach into Roanoke. So we're going to fly at 4,000 feet. We should be fine at 4,000 feet. And I'm going to show you how to put that into the G1000 using the SR22's input capability, which is kind of cool because you got the alphabet, you got a keyboard basically there, which is kind of cool. So, and that's pretty much it for the trip. So, with that said, let's get this thing started up. So, first thing we want to do, we got the keys in the ignition. Okay, so first thing we want to do is we want to turn the batteries on. Okay, we're going to initialize the PFD, and we know our batteries are working because both of these are going to come up, which is good. Okay, those are all good. Turn the alternators on. Okay. Ding, 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 ding. Oil pressure? Okay, we could turn this warning off. I don't know why I can't turn that warning off. There we go. Okay. All right. So once that's done here, now what we want to do is we have to prime the engine. Now the way to do that, really the only way to do that, I can't. It's very difficult to manipulate that the booster switch there with the mouse. I'm sorry, with the Oculus Touch. So what you got to do is you got to go into It's going to go into flight configuration, and we're going to turn on the VR mouse just for this. VR hardware, VR mouse enabled. Okay. And now that we have the VR mouse enabled, we're going to, let's get straightened out in the cockpit here. We're going to move ourselves so that we could see, and then we're going to prime this for 3 seconds. We want our mixture full. Okay. We're going to prime this for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Okay. Now we go back up here. We put our throttle at about 3/4 right there. Sorry, at 1/4. And then I have to actually have the start key on a keyboard command because it's very difficult to start with the Oculus Touch. So here we go. It takes a little bit. My understanding is that these engines are notoriously difficult. Now, what I've found is, like, if you kind of play with the throttle a little bit, you'll get it to start up. It's got to warm up a little bit. There we go. Beautiful. Okay. Bring it back to idle. Now what we want to do is turn that off. We can see our engine right there. So then we go back to. What we want to do is we want to make sure our oil temperature comes up to the green here, right there. Well, we're just on the edge here, so we want to make sure the oil temperature comes up to the right temp. But in the meantime, we're good to go here. So we can turn our avionics on, nav lights and strobe, put the landing on, and it's 10 degrees Celsius right now, so I'll put the heat on. Now at this point we don't need the mouse anymore. Sorry, crap. Let me do this again here. So I'm going to go like this and boom, and turn that VR mouse off, because the VR mouse when you have the VR mouse enabled, you can't access the menus in 2D, which is really weird. All right, and it's kind of a pain in the neck. So I'm going to put the chat right there because I don't really need. Well, I'm going to put the chat right there. All right, so now we can close the door here. See how it got quiet once we closed the door. And let's just take a look at the engine. It says the alternator 2 is at 0. That's a problem. So I'm going to go, it shouldn't be at 0. So I'm going to go and, I'm going to charge that battery again. There it goes. Now we should have, it's still at 0. Well, my batteries are charged, so I don't know what else to do. All right. We should be good to go. As you can see, I'm not an expert on the systems of an SR22, nor really any plane, right? But now we got a little time here. Let's get our flight plan entered. So we're going to go flight plan, menu, and we're going to scroll down here and delete this flight plan. Enter. All right. So now we're going to go. What did we say the first one was? DeWitt. Yeah, DeWitt. Do ET. All right, so we're going to go to, we're going to scroll to there. We're going to go DE, where's W? W, E, T. All right, it's first, we'll hit enter. And we're going to go to, what's the second one? Null. So we're going to go K, N, O, where's the hell's L? L, enter, and then we're going to go K, R, O, A, enter. All right, that's our flight plan. We're heading to Rolling Oak via Duet and Knoll. So what we want to do here is now just scroll back up here. We want to make Duet our first leg, so we make sure that that's selected. This is it's a little tricky with the mouse here. So we go to menu, activate leg, boom, close flight plan, and we have our flight plan ready to go. I like to have the flight plan on the PFD right there so I can see it. 124 miles to Duet. And that's pretty much it, man. So we're good. We're good on our navigation. Let's see. We want to have the nav on. We want to have the yaw damper on. And we said we wanted to fly at 4,000, so we'll put our altitude select at 4,000. 4,200. That's fine. vertical, and then we're going to roll this up. We're going to climb at, this thing climbs easily at 800 feet per minute, so we'll do 800. Come on. There we go, 800. So that's set. So now all we have to do is once we take off and we're ready to go, we just hit the autopilot button and we're rocking. All right, so our oil temp is definitely up. We got plenty of fuel. Let's make sure we can turn FSEconomy on. Hopefully that'll work and that won't cause a problem. If so, I got to redo the tanks. Let's just make sure that works. You guys can't see this, but I'm logging in there. Takes a little bit to log in. Hopefully it won't crash. Come on. Come on. Please don't crash. Still hourglassing, so hopefully this will log in here. I'm trying to log into FSEconomy. Boom. Good to go. Let's hit start flight. And that worked too. So we got 2 assignments, 75 gallons of gas. We're good to go on FSEconomy. Yeah, so good to go. Hey guys, listen, I really appreciate you guys joining. If you want to say hello in the chat, please do. Let me know if the sounds of the airplane are loud enough for you there. Yeah, so let's see, everything's entered. And I'm not going through your normal checklist because it'll just be too long of a stream to go through all of that, assuming checklist is okay and the batteries are charged, so we're all good to go here. So I'm going to taxi out and take off to the north. All right. A little bit different in steering this plane. It's not, you actually have to tap the brake in order to when you're taxiing for the plane to go left or right. It's kind of a different thing here, and from what I understand, that's pretty accurate in the way it is in real life. So that said, let's get our brakes here and get our parking brake off. Okay, and let's rev her up a little bit. See that alternator light went off. And we are taxiing. Yeah, you actually have to, like, I'm tapping the left brake to have this, and then I'm tapping the right brake to straighten it out. Takes a little getting used to. That's for sure. All right, I'm just going to pop on the runway here. I don't need much runway with this plane, so we want to get her up in the air and get her flying. Synthetic vision, which is cool. You can see the tower right there. This is very realistic. What a cool thing. The synthetic vision. That must have been a difficult thing to implement for sure. All right, we're going to go mid-runway here, so I'm going to hit that brake here, get lined up on the white. Yeah, we'll see, LSS. We'll see. There's a lot to be seen with, yeah, that is, I mean, that's great news, but, well, we'll talk, give me a second, we'll talk about it in a second. All right, so we're good to go here. Everything is in the green. Check our engine one more time. All right, so we've got everything in the green. The alternator 2 we got at 0. Let me just see what happens when I. All right, so we gain voltage when I do that, or amps, I should say. Okay, so that's fine. All right, let's go. We have clearance. We're going to put the flaps to 50%, rev her up to full power, and tap those brakes to keep them on the way. Once we get on the line here, you really don't have to tap too much more. You can use the rudder, because you're getting some wind across the rudder, so that'll actually turn the plane. We're at 80 knots here, easily to take off, and there we go. Just that easy. Trim her out. That's the one thing. There's no trim indicator, at least that I can see. It would be really, 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 really nice to have a trim indicator. It's going to hand fly for a little bit. Yeah, I have not been able to find the trim indicator. All right, so we could probably back off the power a little bit here. Thing has a really, really great climbing power, that's for sure. All right, so let's get autopilot on here. Plane's good. The computer's going to take over, get us on track, and get us up to 4,200 feet. Let's just check our engine. All right, everything's looking good. No alerts, no alarms. Right now we're burning 21 gallons an hour, which is a little steep. So I'm gonna just keep it at about 80%. And once we get up, we'll lower that. Take a look outside as she's flying. Pretty cool. That is an awesome. I just always love the look of this plane. Always love the look of this plane. I mean, it's it's obviously engineered for aerodynamics, but it's sort of like looks and design were on a path to make a plane that just looks so sexy. To me, it's just such a sexy plane. Oh, just awesome. I love it. I love this plane. Yeah. So hey, LSS, if you have a link to where you read, did you read that on Facebook or something, or did you find an article? I'd like to see that. If you have a link, you could post it in the chat. That'd be awesome. I remember, I think I was listening to or watching a live stream from the MS 2020 or FS 2020, whatever it is, whatever people are calling it. Their live stream from the developers, and they were saying that it was on the roadmap, and that it's certainly something that they're going to be doing. To hear that it's a priority, that's great. That'll make me want to spend the money on it sooner rather than later. Yeah, so that's good to hear. I mean, listen, I'm as curious as everybody else, who's not an alpha tester, at what it looks like. It's amazing to me that they've got, I don't know how many alpha testers they have, that they've been able to keep it so quiet. I know there's a little sneaks here and there, but they've been able to keep it so quiet. Let's get rid of the cow. I forget the cow's name. You know what I think would be cool is if you could put your own mascot there. Pick a mascot, or have one made and put it there. That'd be kind of cool. Nice, very smooth flight here. You can see looking down there. We're just coming up to 4,200 feet. And it's super smooth, man. Hey, LSS, how you doing? It's a good question. Thank you for asking that. You know, I had lost a lot of weight, and I changed my where's the trim? Well, I know the trim is on there. I'm talking about the trim indicator, so you can see exactly how much trim that you where oh, is that right there? Let me just see. Oh, I see, down there. All right, we'll check that out when I have to trim next time. Back to the healthy eating. So yeah, so I did change my diet immensely, and I lost a good amount of weight. You know, with the pandemic and being inside a lot, I kind of put a little bit back on, and I got away from totally healthy eating, but I didn't stray too far, if you will. And actually, in the last week, I've really, kind of pulled things back. So, I'm back to, eating. I'm skipping. I skip breakfast. I fast for breakfast, and I try to have. I don't have. I developed this smoothie that I drink, and I was drinking it every day, and I'm now going to drink it like every other day. Number one is because it's like kind of expensive. I mean, with all the crap I have in there, I figured out it's like a $12 smoothie, so it's kind of an expensive thing. But in any event, so I'm going to probably do it every other day, and then on the in-between days have like tuna or salad or something like that. So that's one thing I'm changing. I did make a move back to bread, unfortunately. So that I'm weaning off now. Thankfully, sugar hasn't been a problem, although bread is really kind of like sugar. But so I'm basically, yeah, that's the other thing. The no gyms. I was before the winter. I was walking every single day, and I've gotten up to like a mile, over a mile, which is good for me. The winter I started doing the treadmill, and I just can't stand walking on the treadmill. So that kind of laid off. So I'm getting back into the movement, and I'm getting back into the eating right. So it's an appropriate question for the time. That's for sure. Now, where on the control stick AL point is the indicator of the trim? Because that's what I'm looking for. Oh, is it right there? I see. Is it right there? I guess that's the indicator. There's a left to right. Yeah, I don't know. Check it out. All right, so in any event, so my thoughts on this plane. I spent a good amount yesterday and at least 4 or 5 hours today flying this plane. Actually, in FSEconomy, I purchased a SR22 somewhere in Kansas. RSL was the airport, and I flew it from RSL to Nashville, and then to Asheville, and then to Charlotte, with the objective of eventually getting it back to Roanoke, which is an airport that our group owns. So I had some time in those flights to mess around with it. First I wasn't able to get it to work for the FSEconomy, and then I found that fix where you have to reduce the fuel amount in the menu for the SR22, and that seems to work fine. But I found a few things. One, it's very difficult to use the touch controller and switch tanks, and I'll show you that when it's time to switch tanks. It's not quite right yet, but it's very difficult to do it. It's nearly I haven't figured out a way to prime the engine using the touch controller. Okay, I can hit the boost, but prime the engine, that's a problem. Let's see, I should actually trim off here a little bit, get it down to 16. Let's see, so that's fine. I will tell you that I think that the if I go into flight plan, okay, it's very, when I try to change, it's very it's indexed it's very what's the word I'm looking for, in a way where it's very difficult to stop where you want to stop. So the indexing, I think, needs to be worked on a little bit for VR. Okay, but that's something that's not really that much of a problem. I found that sometimes, under the iPad, let's see. Well, how the hell am I going to see that? You mean over here, like you're saying, like right here? Okay, so that's telling me that. All right, that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, I guess, but I guess that's just the way it works. Any event, so that's one thing. The G1000 indexing is a little difficult. It's a little small, so it's small movements, if you will. But other than that, those are really my right now. Those are really my only nitpicks. Let's get the air conditioning on here. Little hot here in the cabin. Yeah. I mean, the other thing was, when I was flying the last time, I rebooted before I started the stream, and when I was flying the last time, I wasn't able to. For some reason, it locked me out of the didn't have the engine. It said system here, and it wouldn't do anything. So I wasn't able to access the engine panel. I rebooted and that came back. So maybe that's a little glitch that they're working on. I know they're working on the FSEconomy thing. The other thing was, when I first started the plane, I would be positioned inside the engine cowl in here. Okay, it would actually position you here. Okay, this is where you were first positioned. Now, I reported this to TorqueSim, and Cooper sent me some files that apparently fix that. So I haven't tried that yet. But what I did was, I found someone else that was having that problem, and they discovered this tool called VR Tools, which you can get on xplane.org. You go to hotspots, and you can change. Let's go back here. Cancel. Damn it. This is a really cool plugin. So you go here and you go VR Tools, hotspots, and you go to hotspot editor. Yeah. So basically, pilot seat. And what I did was you put where you want to be, and then you hit pilot seat, and then it says confirm or update, and boom. Now that's fixed now. Whenever you can create other positions within the plane too. Like if you want to go to back seat or outside or on the wing or whatever, you can create other positions, which is really cool. I haven't really even started using this VR tool. It's on xplane.org. So now when I load the plane up for the first time, I'm always in the pilot seat, which is great. So like if I go outside now, if I go back inside by the button that I use, boom, I'm right in the pilot seat. I just have to adjust it a little bit. So that's all fixed now. But apparently, like I said, TorqueSim sent me a couple of files to add in that should correct that problem, which I'll check out later. But aside from that, everything else has been pilot error. So there were some issues like with the MFD and all that, and that was because the batteries weren't charged. But so for the most part, it's been flawless, and the frame rates have been really good. You can see right now. Let me just show you what we're getting. Let's go to plug in. And we're going to go to fly with Lua, and we're going to go to the macros, and we're going to go to OBR settings. Another tool you have to have for if you're flying in VR, because you can set your super sampling right here. You don't have to use the Oculus control. This is only for Oculus, okay? And you can set up your asynchronous space warp. Now, right now I have it deleted, but or disabled, I should say. So I just put it on. I just forced it on, and it's a little choppy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So I found that in the Northeast, when you have it disabled, it's smoother. It's running at it'll run at 27, 28 frames per second. You can see that's much smoother. So we're getting between 29 and 30 frames, which is damn good. So yeah, aside from that, I really don't have any other bones to pick. So it's $54.95, so $55. I've seen some people say, "Wow, that's expensive." Well, don't forget, you're getting two planes, right? You're getting the naturally aspirated engine, and you're getting the turbo engine. You're getting two different planes, and it's this plane, okay, is absolutely realistically modeled. Absolutely realistically modeled. I was watching Citation Max, who's a pilot. Okay, he streams on Twitch. You guys probably know who he is. He has a YouTube channel. He used to own an SR22, I think a G3 maybe, and he used to make videos flying the plane. He had a stream, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, where he flew the plane and he went over it, and he was saying how true to life it was. He flies in 2D. He doesn't fly in 3D. But he was saying how true to life it is, and how realistic the flight model is for him. He said it was completely immersive. I'll tell you that, I've flown Coronado's SR22, which is a pile of dog crap. I've flown in VR. I've flown the V-Flight Air SR20, which is a nice plane. The only problem is their G1000 is their own, and they haven't shifted over to laminars yet. So there's some difficulties, and it's got a little bit of bugs in here, and it doesn't do the terrain without, having an add-on. It's a nice plane. I like it. I flew that plane a lot. Okay, this plane, and I haven't flown the Hold My Beer freeware plane. I don't know why. I saw it come out, and I just never got around to it. I kind of have a little bit of a history with Cooper from who's been involved with this plane, with some other stuff, other planes that we did a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. So I was leaning towards this one because I know that he's a solid dude, and I was expecting this to be pretty amazing, which it is. So I can tell you that this is the nicest Cirrus that I've ever flown an X-plane. There's no doubt about it. It's just absolutely killer. But the synthetic vision is really, 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 really cool. You'll see when we land how cool it is, and it'll actually do airway. You can set up. Let's see. Let me go to inset. Hold on, back. PFD. Synthetic vision. Here we go. There. Yeah, so you can set up pathway. It has the virtual pathways, terrain. Pretty cool. Okay, heading. You can set all that crap up, and you'll see where it's available. You'll see like the virtual airway indicator shown on the synthetic vision, which is pretty damn cool. Let me just see if we can get a little closer here so you can check this out. All right, there it is. Okay. If we go over here, that's your G1. That's your MFD. Okay, let me just pull the engine up here so you can see all the indicators. Okay, you got your power, RPM, your manifold pressure, your fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temperature, EGT, engine temperatures, your anti-ice, your oxygen, fuel quantity, which is, look, you see it's getting time for me to change to the right tank. You can see it gives you fuel calculations. So I've got 660 miles of range. This plane has a lot of range. All right, your electrical and air density, all the information that you need up top there. If we can just go back to up top there, you've got all your nav information. So your current speed, ground speed, your direction. Okay, fuel on board, destination time. So I'm 30 minutes away from destination. Fuel at destination, I guess 55 gallons I'll have left, which is awesome to know. Distance 80 to the final distance. This is all final destination. Roanoke is 85 nautical miles, and the bearing is 025. So all that information for you on the MFD. Down here you've got your analog indicators, and these, I tell you what, let's take a look at what it looks like at nighttime. Go to flight config, and let's go to okay. I don't know why my lights aren't on there. Turn this light on. For some reason the lights aren't working. That's got to be something I'm doing wrong, so I'll have to figure that out. All right, let's get back to daylight. So that's definitely something I'm doing wrong here. Cabin lights, where the hell are they? It's hard to fly in 2D at all after VR. I totally agree. $60 for the basic package. Yeah, I get you. I mean, a lot of people are going to be doing that. It's a $60. It's $60. It looks amazing. I'm talking about MS 2020. I don't know why they don't call it FS 2020. I think FS 2020 would be better, because that's what it is, right? Flight Simulator 2020. I gotta figure out how to turn these lights on. I don't know how to turn the lights on. Oh, here we go. Duh. Okay, so we basically just turn these. Alright, there we go. There's my answer. Let's go to, it's been a while since I've flown. Let's go back into the night, the evening. Ooh, that looks cool. I love the red. It looks awesome. That looks very cool. Little night vision. Let's see what we look like on the outside. What I like is, I love how you can see inside the cockpit, and you can see the G1000 in there. Get back to daytime. All right, we got 61 miles to do it. Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'm probably gonna buy it too. I mean, probably gonna buy it too. I would like to know what FSEconomy's plans are. They are huge Microsoft, Microsoft flight simulator which was what it was originally invented or designed for. So I'd love to know what their plans are. All right, so let me show you how kind of difficult it is to switch over this. So what I'm going to do here is I'm not touching anything. First of all, I got to get to my all right, I haven't touched anything. Now, the way to do it is, let me see if I can do it. Nope, that doesn't work. So what you do, what I'm doing is I'm using the trigger, and as soon as I touch the trigger, it moves it to off. It's just so difficult to manipulate. There we go. It's so difficult to manipulate. I hope that's probably something that can be fixed. And I found the same thing even using the virtual mouse. So that's one thing that needs to be looked at. So now we're back over to the second tank there, or the right tank. Let's check on the engine here. Just for grins, I'll show you the checklist. So there we go. Let's get in there. And you can see we can scroll through all the checklists, and you can see this is when I'm talking about the indexing. It's very difficult to scroll through it without. All right, so this is Shutdown. We're going through a scenery change there. That's why we're getting the hourglass. Let it get through that. I found it. I have had a few crashes when we went through scenery changes. Let's exit the checklist. All right. So yeah, so it's kind of difficult to manipulate that checklist because it's so twitchy, with the controller. Now in 2D, I'm sure it's fine, but in VR, if there's a way to just reduce the indexing a little bit, so it takes a little bit more of a turn to go to the next thing, that would be really helpful. "53 miles, 24 minutes to the destination. 53 miles to DeWitt, I should say. Now I chose a route, so we're going to avoid pretty much all the mountainous areas and come right into Roanoke. So it should be an easy in. So guys, thanks for joining. Oh, we have 11 people watching. That's awesome. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate it. Say hello in the chat. Are you guys, any of you guys interested in or planning on buying this plane? I'd love to know what your thoughts are. If you have any questions, if you're currently flown it, I'd love to know your thoughts too. I'm sure everybody else would like to know, to get an idea of what your experience has been. Mine's been overwhelmingly positive, for sure. I think they did an excellent job of creating a simulation of one of my favorite planes to fly in VR, for sure. If I had to rank them, number 1 would be this plane. Number 2 would be the Ti SC2. And number 3 would be probably the PC-12. The Carinado PC-12 is the best plane, I think, that Carinado ever made. I think. Aside from the fact that the VR doesn't work great, you can't really manipulate the autopilot. Hopefully they'll fix that someday. But aside from that, the PC-12 is awesome, especially in FSEconomy. It's the best plane for FSEconomy. But this, by far, is my favorite plane to fly. You're not going to make money on this plane in FSEconomy, but if you want to do low and slow... Oh! Hey, someone just, I guess, subscribed there. Appreciate that. I forgot how I have those alerts set up for YouTube. I haven't streamed on YouTube in a while, but if you subscribe there, appreciate that. Yeah, so this is definitely my favorite plane to fly, and I enjoyed the SR20 for the 2 or 3 years that I was flying that. Even though the G1000 wasn't the greatest, I got around that, and I flew that a lot on stream and stuff, and flew it a lot off stream. Just a fun. I did a lot of livery paints and stuff like that. It's a fun plane to fly, but this plane this is a special one for sure. So, question about MS-20 or FS. I think it should be called FS-20. Do you have an idea of how much disk space? Have they given any indication on that? And I'm going to assume that. Well, I guess I shouldn't assume. I would think that they're developing on DirectX 12 or DirectX 12. I would imagine. So I would hope that they're taking advantage of multi-core CPU, and they're taking advantage of newer GPUs. I hope it's not going to be CPU bound like what we're flying now, X-plane. That would be a big disappointment. If you're going to design something from the ground up, you really should make sure that it's designed using current day coding or engineering techniques, software engineering techniques. Now, I'm sure it's going to be DirectX because it's Microsoft, right? It's not going to be Vulkan. And I wonder if they'll have a Mac version. Probably not. But I'd love to know how much disk space it's going to take up. For me, I would probably only use North America and the Caribbean, because I like to fly in the Caribbean sometimes. But if they give you if it's set up like X-plane where you can load or you can install different parts of the world, that's probably how I would handle it. All right, we're making our way here, 39 miles to our first turn. Everything looking good here. Let's check the engine. Burning 16 gallons an hour, which is totally reasonable. We have a range of 631 miles with our current fuel. We'll end up with 55 gallons of fuel when we land, so we got plenty in case of emergency. The other thing I would love to see is a chart button here, so I can put in a PFD charts of airports and stuff. That would be really good. I'm hopefully they'll. I know you can do that because you're with this, because you can do that on the Ti SC2. So hopefully they'll add that in here. Charts. Just have a chart button. Boom. Pull up the chart. Be right there, so you can stay in and be immersive. It's easier to see if I move to my right. Yeah, so I see there where it says trim down. So I guess that's the trim indicator there. Okay, well, what's going to happen is when I'm flying, when I take it off autopilot, I'll check that out there, because I want to see what that... Because usually, I think on the SR20, the trim indicator is like right here. It's electronic and it's on the MFD. That would be great. Like if they could put the trim indicator like here, or there, somewhere right in front of you, so you don't have to look down. It should be like right there, so your eyes can go from here to here, right? And everything to fly the plane should be right here in front of your, below the windshield, Tire stream is going to be streamed, so the better internet connection. Oh, okay, that's right. I remember that now. Wow, so it's all So basically what they're doing is they're controlling the scenery at a server so they can update the scenery. And you, oh wow, okay. Wow. That's going to be interesting. I would assume it's being hosted on Azure. That's going to be interesting. I mean, is that the way like gaming systems work? Like Modern Warfare and Fortnite and all those? Is that how they work now? Or they basically stream all their scenery? Wow. I mean, I think it'll be fine for me. I have like a half a mega gig, 500 megabits per second, so I'm sure it should be okay for me. I would say you probably want to have your PC Ethernet connected to your router so that you don't add Wi-Fi as a latency bottleneck. So you want to have a direct Ethernet cable. Yeah, I remember reading that now, that it's going to be streamed to scenery. That's pretty wild. Well, I'm sure there's going to be a nice little period there where people are either going to love it or hate it, and there's going to be things they have to fix. And when they have 1.1 and 1.2, and by the time they get to like 1.5, people will start to be satisfied. That's usually how software works. Like this plane, it's 1.0.0, right? 1.0.1 is probably, it's going to be better, but when they get to 1.1, then it's going to be, pretty solid until a major point release. Just the way it works. So I'm anxious to see, Microsoft MS-2020. I started flying well, actually, before that, SubLogic on an Apple II. That's what I'm dating myself here, but I had an Apple IIc, and I had SubLogic's Microsoft SubLogic simulator on the Apple IIc. That's how long ago? So that's like the early '80s. That's when I first got into flight simulation. What we see here was an absolute dream. It was all sticks and wires that you were seeing. I'm sure you guys, if you're older, you know what I'm talking about. What you see here is just an absolute dream. But yeah, so I'm anxious to see it like everybody else, and hopefully it'll be spectacular like everyone says. I'm hoping, I love X-Plane too. And it's got its faults, and they're making some great strides with Vulkan. They definitely have made great strides with Vulkan. I'm sure that FS20 or MS-2020 has put a little pressure on Laminar to step shit up a little bit, which is a good thing for everybody. Competition's good, X-Plane really has been it for a while, aside from P3D. Really, and P3D isn't as widely used as XP11 because FSX, let's just face it, FSX is outdated, to say the least. Aerofly is great, but they never really. It's just, first of all, it takes up a massive amount of disk space, and their rate of updating has been pretty snail-like. I've been using that simulator for 5 years or something, and they really haven't made a whole lot of improvement. They've added Orbix here and Orbix there, but XP11, of all the sims aside from P3D, have, and I'm not counting DCS because that's more military, I'm talking about general aviation sims. XP11, Laminar has been in the forefront leader of trying to advance the genre, if you will. And now they're going to have a major competitor, which is a good thing, right? They're right, MS-2020 is $60. It's right in that same It's right in that same wheelhouse. So I'm sure Austin is, you know, having strategy meetings on how they're going to stay ahead of Microsoft. Microsoft is a big company. They got a lot of money. They have a big team developing that software. Big team with some absolute world expert software engineers. So I totally expect them to be successful. It's not going to be like a Dovetail. Dovetail came up with, what was it, FSW, Flight Sim World? That thing was that was a joke. What a joke that was. Oh, that was so horrible. I still have it installed, but it was so bad. It was so bad. They finally trashed it, but it won't be anything like that, obviously. Amazing to me that that Dovetail bought that. I wonder what that cost them to buy it from Microsoft. If they bought it, maybe someone else had owned it already. But in any event, yeah, like everyone else, I'm excited to see the new simulator. Can't wait. All right, we got 15 miles to DeWitt to make our the left-hand turn into Roanoke. You guys have any questions about the SR22? I'll try to answer them as best I can as far as operational. I'm still figuring stuff out myself, so I will tell you is treat it like a real pump backup. Uh-oh. What is that? Pump backup. Engine. What does that mean? Pump backup. Does it mean the fuel pump is backing up? See, this is what I mean. If I was going to really fly this plane, I should spend some time knowing what the hell that means, right? Well, I got the fuel pump off. Do I want to put it on boost? I don't think so. I don't think we need it on boost. You really only need it on boost when you're landing and you're taking off, right? Let's look at checklist. Let's look at how do I go to previous? Oh, here we go. Fuel pump. Fuel pump should be off, which it is off. Pump backup. I don't see any pump backup. Damn it, it's too twitchy. Come on, stop being so twitchy. It's too damn twitchy. Okay, I don't know what that means. Pump backup. It's not an alert, so I guess I don't have to worry about it. The fuel flow looks okay. So I guess I don't have to worry about it. I think if I was in a real plane, I'd be pulling the manual out right now. Let's see. If TorqueSim just joined MSA, a lot of as well, and if see your own house, that would be, If that's the case, man, that's like a game changer. It's good that VATSIM's going to be part of it. I wonder if Pilot Edge will be part of it. I'm sure that Keith is probably looking at it. Hope it has good scenery. Flight Sim George, thanks for joining, by the way. Big maps and looks. Yeah, I mean, they're saying it's supposed to be amazing. Yeah, Outpoint, I agree. It should be in a better place. It should be on the MFD or the PFD. How do I get the good level of... Okay, so what you're seeing is you're not seeing what I see through... Well, in essence, you're looking at... there's a application in the Oculus folder called Oculus Mirror, okay? And what I do is I run Oculus Mirror, and that's what you're seeing. Okay, you're not seeing the blur. I'm using a CV1, right? So it's a little blurry, right, as you would expect for a CV1. You're seeing the Oculus Mirror version, which is clear. Okay. Hope that explains it. Yeah. So I filled the void of boredom. All right, here we go. Making our first turn. All right, there's a scenery load right there. Still getting pretty smooth rates here. Let me look down there. Pretty smooth. Realistically smooth. Yeah, quarantine is boring. Luckily, you know, I live in New Jersey, and New Jersey has, you know, we got hit really bad really early, especially northern Jersey. Not where I live as much, but you know, fortunately, things have calmed down here a little bit. You know, for the most part, people have been pretty responsible, and slowly but surely we're getting things back to normal, which is good. So, all right, I'm going to. I think I might want to hand fly this in. Let's see. Let me just look at my map here. Yeah, I'm pretty much like a straight in approach to Roanoke. Question about Cirrus 22 in the pilot hotspot position. Yeah, that's what I used to, Paul. Maybe you joined late, but I actually showed VR Tool. Yeah, and I heard from Coop that they're gonna. He actually sent me a couple of files that should fix the problem. But I saw your post on Facebook, and then the guy answered you about that VR Tool. That VR Tool is pretty cool, so I appreciate that. I'm using the CH Products basic yoke and their pedals as well. All right, I got Roanoke there on the in view here, so I'm going to take this off autopilot, and we're going to hand fly in there. So let me get to. I'm going to put my mixture up. Leave my mixture there a little bit. I know this area pretty well. We want to be a little bit right of that hump right there. Yeah, the honeycomb looks really cool. I'm sure it's better than the CH product. If I was buying my first yoke, I would probably get it. This CH product yoke though is for the money. It's been great. And I just, you know, I don't really. My next purchase is going to be an HP Reverb G Generation 2. Hey, Colin, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Yeah, the streaming is going to be over here on YouTube rather than Twitch. I'm going to stay over here now since I've got, you know, 15,000 subscribers on YouTube, so I figured it makes sense stream here, and YouTube streaming has gotten better. So, but appreciate that. But yeah, so what I was saying was, let me just check. We're lined up here for the runway. You're going to start seeing this synthetic vision come in here. If I was buying a yoke for the first time, I would definitely look at the honeycomb. What I didn't like about the honeycomb is that they didn't release the throttle at the same time, which meant that I'd have to buy a throttle, where the CH Products has a throttle built into the unit. So, when they come out with the throttle, I know that's coming out soon if it's not already, but I know it didn't come out at the same time. I do have a Discord, look in the description, but I don't really use it as much as I used to, but I'm going to start using it more. But if you just subscribe to the channel and hit the alert button icon, then you'll get alerts when I stream. So if you just want to subscribe to the channel, hit the alert button. You should get alerts when I stream. Yeah, so that's my whole philosophy on the honeycomb. It looks really cool. I watched it, from the beginning when they were developing it, and I know it took a long time for it to come out. And maybe someday. But right now, the CH Products working fine for me. For the immersion factor, and frankly, my next spend is going to be on a reverb too, the HP reverb too. All right, we're going to go below 110 for 50% flaps. We're almost there. I really should get those flaps on. Oh, I see. I'm seeing the trim move now. I get you. I don't like that. All right, that's a terrible place to put the trim. But I could see it. I could see it there. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right, now we can go full flaps. You can see that synthetic vision. We are right in the lane there with the guideway there. You can see you can see the runway coming up on the synthetic vision, which is so cool. I thought it's just so cool. 75 knots, a little slow. Probably want to be about 80 knots. All right, we're over the threshold. Gonna trim up and fan it up. Let her come down. All right, wheels are down. Nose down. Heathrow Aviation, awesome, cool. So you joined the VR Aviation, that's awesome. Would you say that was a butter landing? I thought it was pretty good. Oh no, oh, so you joined the YouTube channel. Awesome, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. All right, that ding ding is, for some reason, the oil pressure goes, and now I got a pump back up, so I'm gonna have to go to I'm probably going to have to go to the hangar over here. So I'm taxiing all over the place. All right, so the one thing I will tell you is that, if you're used to just basically turning your rudder pedals to taxi, this is a different kind of feeling. You basically have to tap the brake, and Max was basically saying that that's exactly how it works. If I want to stay on this yellow line, I'm tapping the brake to turn this plane. You don't just turn. You use the rudder pedals, but when you don't have wind going through the rudder, you actually tap the brake to turn the plane. There's a certain kind of steering that's called. I can't remember what it's called, but just be aware of that. It's going to be a little bit tricky when you first try it out. Oh, you joined Discord. All right, cool. No problem. Yeah, I was thinking about getting my Discord back up, start using that again. All right, let's park this puppy here. We'll park it right there. We could do a little better than that. Let's park over here. I'm still getting used to the ground handling. Like I'm just like tweaking the brake, the left down, the left brake. It's odd. It's really odd. All right, that's good enough. All right, so let's get to parking brake is under here. So you grab that, pull it down, and I'm just gonna get out of FSEconomy here. Finished my flight. That worked good. You guys can't see that, but trust me, it worked. All right, so we made it, guys. Awesome, right? So let's shut her down. So we're going to go mixture off. Okay. Turn all these things, guys, off here. Well, I guess I should have turned the key, right? I guess that's the way I should have done. Battery off. For some reason, the Avi tab stays on. For some reason, and let's see. Can we open our door here? Oh, come on. So just want to see the door handle. There it is. Open the door. Get out of the plane. Close the door. Boom. Make sure it's locked. And that's going to do it, guys. Listen, I really appreciate it. This is, and again, I love this plane, man. This plane is awesome. Differential braking. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I just didn't know what the term was. Yeah, so that's basically, it takes a little bit of getting used to in the ground handling. But it's, it's real to life. So I'm anxious to get immersed in learning the ins and outs of this plane. There's been a lot of fully modeled planes that have come out for X-Plane. To me, this is the one I've been most excited about. As I said before, while there's some things that they can probably improve, I certainly am very, 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 very impressed. Overall, total 2 thumbs ups, and really enjoy it. Did you notice that the light appears to stay on when turned off in the dark? Oh, really? Let's see. So let's see. Let's go to. Is this what you mean? Let me go to flight sim. Just go to make it dark out. Like this, you mean? I guess they consider this like moonlight. Is that what you mean? Like you could see the cabin. It's not pitch dark. Yeah, I guess that's. I guess what's the alternative? You don't. If you have it pitch dark, you can't see anything. So I guess they have to make it kind of dark. Let me just see what it looks like on the outside. Yeah, even the outside, you got a little bit of cabin glow. Oh. Yeah, you got a little bit of a cabin glow. Back seat's pretty dark. But the front seat, yeah, it got the cabin glow going on. Oh, well. I could see why they would do that, because you can't have it pitch dark. If you have it pitch dark, you can't see anything. Am I going to crash here? Might have a crash here. Oh, the landing light under the prop. Okay. That's weird. So it stays on. I'll have to check. Let me just Oh, I crashed. Okay, well, guys, that's going to do it for the stream. Listen, guys, I really appreciate let's see what happened here. Okay, guys. Well, I guess that's going to do it for the stream. I really appreciate you guys checking it out. For some reason, we had a bit of a crash there. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. Hit the like button if you like what you saw, and subscribe to the channel. We'll be doing more streams with X-Plane and this plane in particular, as well as some others. But I'm going to be kind of focusing on learning this plane for the next little while here. And again, thanks for watching. Please hit that smash the like button if you have hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And thanks for all the support for the channel, guys, over the years. I really do appreciate it. Have a great rest of today and Sunday and evening if you're over in the UK in the evening or over in Europe. Have a great evening, guys, and be safe out there. Take care.